Hello, my name is Angel, and I teach elementary music in Detroit. But I'm also a Class Dojo mentor, and I've seen firsthand how Class Dojo can benefit not just my class, but my entire school. That's why I'm so excited to spend this time together. Some of you joining today might be Class Dojo mentors, principals, or assistant principals. But whoever you are, we want you to know exactly how you can lead your school and build a strong community on Class Dojo. As leaders, you play a central role in the culture and trajectory of your school. So within our time together, you will get to know your team, understand the roles of teachers, mentors, administration, and school leaders. You'll also receive tips for success, learn ways to use Class Dojo to engage, inspire, and share learning within your school community. Now you may be asking yourself, what can I expect as a Class Dojo school? Class Dojo schools receive the features, training, and support to use Class Dojo school-wide, plus some exclusive swag for the next school year. Within your directory, you can check to see if you've connected your teachers and staff with our progress bar. Once you've hit 100%, you can expect some swag to come to your school fairly soon after. All teachers and staff at Class Dojo schools receive live training and dedicated support. You can always contact our team directly from your directory page. You can sign your teachers up for professional development at classdojo.com/training. If at any time you want to sign your teachers up and become a Class Dojo school, feel free to go to classdojo.com/schools. There are three main roles on Class Dojo. You have your school leader, your mentor, and your teacher positions. As a school leader, the administrator has the capabilities to manage and moderate the school story and directory. Your school leader could be your principal, assistant principal, or any directors within your school building. Your administrators can edit staff lists, student lists, class lists, or your school story. School leaders can be added at classdojo.com/sign up. As a Class Dojo mentor, mentors can help verify and support other teachers. They are the go-to for all Class Dojo questions. In order to have a Class Dojo mentor, you can nominate that amazing teacher by emailing us at mentors@classdojo.com. And this would be a teacher who has previously used Class Dojo and is familiar with the features. Although mentor capabilities are limited, they can still verify other teachers and edit student lists, which you can imagine is a big help to the school leader. And your final role as a teacher, that is any staff or teacher that isn't a school leader, but they may need to access staff changes. Any teacher can create classes, add co-teachers, connect families, and students. They are able to transfer ownership and add teachers to their classes. If you need to invite your teachers, you can do so directly through the directory at the Click Teachers button. New this year is an administrator role. School leaders and anyone with the admin role can designate other mentors and teachers to be administrators. And remember, administrators can help manage the overall school directory. So the new admin role will be a great help to the school leaders within your school building. We are now going to jump into our directory. So if you want to follow along with us within your own Class Dojo page, feel free. So your directory is your home base to edit your school's community members from adding, revising, and removing. You can view all classes, add co-teachers, and transfer the ownership of old classes. I'm going to briefly demonstrate a few of these processes, but know that we do have separate sessions dedicated to step-by-step directory management. When you go into your ClassDojo School, you will click on your school name, click on the tab that says Directory. From here, you are able to see the teachers that are connected, as well as your students and classes. You can add your teachers by name, or if need be, you can remove old teachers with the click of a button. Now let's look at our student tab. Here you'll see all students enrolled within your school building. You are able to add students. Here you will put their full name, and if you would like, their parent email. If you need to remove a student, you will click on the three dots. From here, you could individually remove students that no longer attend your school. Remember that this cannot be undone, so make sure you are paying close attention to the students that you are removing. Let's say, for example, all of your fifth graders have graduated. You can now remove the entire grade level by clicking the three buttons and choosing Graduate this grade. Again, this action cannot be undone, so please make sure the students that need to be removed are being removed. Your final tab is your Classes tab. This is a full list of your classes organized by grade that any teacher or staff has set up at your school. I want to show you how you can add co-teachers. You can do this by clicking the drop-down menu and add co-teachers. This will give those teachers within that classroom messaging rights and posting rights within that story. So again, new to our directory, you can give any teacher or mentor administrative capabilities to update your school directory. So everything we just demoed, your new admin would also be able to help the school leader within that process. You can bulk remove a group of students by graduating the entire class, or you can archive old classes from within the Classes tab of the directory by again clicking on that teacher's name and choosing Archive Class. Now we're going to jump to our school story. School story is one of the most powerful ways for you to lead your school on ClassDojo. You can shape the stories your family receive on using School Story. It's an opportunity to highlight what makes your school special. And in some cases, this might be the most insight a family gets into how their kid is spending half of their waking hours at your school. School Story is a secure and private feed to share announcements, files, photos, videos, and events. And again, it's a chance to highlight what makes your school special. Pro tip, you might want to set a routine for adding at least 2 or more School Story posts per week. This may be your school newsletter or just a quick tip or shout out to your school staff and community and parents. So in using Class Story, you would click on the School Story tab. From here, you are able to post any school announcements. For example, if you had an assembly coming up, you can post that under events. So here I'll just demo to you and back to school assembly. You are able to put the date and time, write your description, add a fancy picture. And the most important part is setting your reminders. You may want this to come up to your parents immediately as a reminder. I would also recommend at least one day before and the hour before so that your parents are always engaged in what's going on within your school community. After setting your reminders, you'll create your event and it will pop up directly in your school story page and is added to your calendar of upcoming events. As you hover over the reminder set, you'll see that your parents will receive those reminders for the 5 days, 1 day, or 1 hour before that you may have set them for. So what can I do to inspire families on a regular basis? School story definitely emphasizes the personal element of your school community. It could be something as fun as a fun fact about your school's history, highlighting a teacher of the month, taking a peek into a lesson or class, or just showing how your students are in the hallways and highlighting your amazing school community. You are able to post pictures, videos, you can record within School Story, and anything that goes on School Story will be visible to your parent community. Your families can be reinforced and support what your school is learning by using School Story in the way that they know that they are always engaged in what's going on. You can link posts to your kids' learning so that parents feel as if they are always within the classroom and always within your school community. So we touched a little bit on highlights and calendar. When you set that event, it will come up on the right-hand sidebar as an upcoming event in your calendar. That way parents always know what is going on. A very fun, cool way to see your school highlights is by clicking on the Highlights tab. From here, you are able to see how many teachers you have connected, how many students, and how many parents. A very cool feature is seeing how many messages were sent to your school families from your teachers, how many photos and videos were shared, and how much positive feedback is going out to your school community and your students. Your highlights are a snapshot into your community connections and activity. It's a great way to keep your parents engaged. It's also a great way to keep your teachers engaged. Now let's look at messaging. Messaging happens within individual classes. Messaging is always a private thread between the teacher and the parent, the co-teacher and the parent. There is never a time when the teacher, the co-teacher, and the parents are able to see one message. ClassDojo prides itself on the privacy of its students and its parents. So let's pop over to our class. As a school leader, if you create your classes for your teachers, you're automatically a co-teacher, meaning you would be able to message this amazing group of all-stars, Beyonce, Denzel, and Jennifer. If your teacher sets up their classes, and there's no right or wrong, however, if your teacher creates their classes, then they will need to add the school leader as a co-teacher. So once you are in the classroom, you will click on Messages. From here, you will be able to click on New Message. If you wanted to send a mass message out to parents concerning, let's say, for example, a school event, it will go out as a mass message, but create individual threads with our parents. All messages occur within classes. So again, if you want to send a message, you need to be connected to that class as the co-teacher. Again, messages are private. Messaging fits the way that many parents prefer to communicate throughout their day. It's fast, immediate, and if the parent is using the ClassDojo app, it will pop up as a notification directly on their phone. And if you need to get in contact with the parent, these things can happen in real time. So a couple of messaging tips. If you are tempted to send a message out to a large group of parents, first ask yourself, could this be more of an announcement on School Story? This way, you won't have to answer individual questions from parents, especially if they may have similar questions. Second, you want to make sure that you are setting a guideline with your parents proactively about messaging at the start of the school year. You want to emphasize that each teacher can set their quiet hours, meaning that teachers may not receive those notifications between the hours of, say, for example, 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. So parents should not be looking for a response within those times. Messages should always stay professional and friendly, assuming positive intent. So we've gone through a lot in our time together. So we just want to make sure that you understand exactly how to set up those very important things, such as quiet hours. So in order to edit your profile, you will click on your picture, go to account settings, and from there, you can add your picture and your information as a school leader. Click on messaging, and from here, this is where you would toggle on and off your quiet hours, and you can set them to whatever fits your schedule, knowing that if you are a co-teacher and a parent sends a message to you, those messages will still be there. However, during your quiet hours set, you will not receive an in-app notification or a push notification until after your quiet hours. So for example, here, you will not get that notification until after 6 a.m. In looking at our advanced tab, you want to make sure that parent connection request is always toggled on. This makes sure that your parents are able to request to join your class, and from there, you can either approve or decline the request. So next steps. You are able to go to a live support session for a school directory setup. There are 30-minute live sessions offered beginning July 25th and on. And if you need additional guidance, we are always here to help. You can schedule a one-on-one Zoom chat with a school leader support team member. Remember, we are here to help guide you through this process, and we want to make it as easy as possible. As we close out our presentation today, I want you to think about, as we start our school year, Lauren Perillo says, at the heart of what I do as a teacher is make an impact on families. Since using ClassDojo, my relationships with parents have flourished, and my relationship with students have flourished too. My students might not always come in with high trust in the academic system, but when my students realize that I have a great relationship with their family, they trust me as well. And strong high trust relationships lead to academic improvement. So as you digest this presentation, we want you to think about how can you use ClassDojo to make your relationships with your parents, your students, your staff flourish. And remember, ClassDojo is always here to help you. Thank you.